Welcome, everyone. Let's talk about a recent analysis by Professor Ted Postol on Iran's hypersonic missiles and their capability to penetrate the Iron Dome.
Yeah, it's a really provocative topic. The notion that these missiles can actually bypass a system as iconic as the Iron Dome really shakes up conventional thinking, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Postol's take um, essentially argues that these hypersonic missiles are on an entirely different level compared to, say, the traditional rocket threats the Iron Dome was designed for.
Right.
They're engineered for extreme speeds, and their maneuverability is, well, off the charts.
And that's crucial because the Iron Dome is optimized for intercepting slower, more predictable threats, correct?
Exactly. It's like trying to catch a bullet with a butterfly net. These missiles, with their hypersonic speeds, are not just fast, they can change trajectory, which makes interception a whole different ballgame.
Yep, exactly. So, what exactly does this say about the current state of missile defense systems?
Well, it suggests that while the Iron Dome has been a robust layer in a multi tier defense strategy, its design wasn't really meant to tackle these new age agile missiles. It's like relying on a system that's, well, built for yesterday's technology to counter tomorrow's threat.
Right, it's not about completely discarding the Iron Dome, it has its merits, but rather acknowledging its limitations when faced with this kind of advanced missile technology.
Absolutely. And Postal makes a point that these hypersonic missiles don't just challenge technical capabilities, they also force a strategic rethinking. It's like the development of smartphones forced the evolution of mobile networks. Defense systems now need to be just as adaptable.
Totally. But can we really say that the Iron Dome is obsolete in this context? Isn't it still quite effective against a certain range of threats?
That's a fair question. It's not that the Iron Dome is entirely obsolete. It's very effective for short to medium range rockets. But in the presence of hypersonic technology, its effectiveness might be compromised, especially under scenarios where speed and maneuverability are
Right, I see
critical.
what you mean. So, are we talking about a complete failure of the system or more like a vulnerability that needs addressing?
More like a vulnerability, really. Postal's argument is nuanced. He points out that while every hypersonic missile won't necessarily get through, there's a clear potential for these weapons to expose gaps in existing defense protocols. It's like a warning bell to consider new measures.
It definitely sounds like a call for the defense community to invest in research for next generation interceptors.
Exactly. Think of it like upgrading your smartphone's OS. If your current system can't handle future apps, you need a complete overhaul. The same goes for missile defenses. They need to evolve fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's interesting that this discussion is coming out in a live stream format. The fact that Postol's analysis was streamed live adds another layer, doesn't it?
For sure, the live dynamic format creates a real time dialogue between experts and the public. Even though the video page, has minimal descriptive text, the headline itself, Iran's hypersonic missiles penetrate Iron Dome, is enough to spark a global conversation.
Indeed. Yet, I sometimes wonder if the title is a bit too sensational. Isn't there a risk it could be seen as, an exaggeration?
That's a valid critique. Headlines are meant to grab attention, but beneath that, Postal backs up his points with technical details, an understanding of missile trajectories, and defense limitations. However, it's important to balance that sensationalism with cautious interpretation.
Yep, that makes sense. And in our geopolitical context, if such vulnerabilities are acknowledged widely, it could force nations to rethink their entire defense strategy, correct?
Precisely. It sends a strong message that relying solely on established systems like the Iron Dome without innovation can be a strategic misstep. The discussion isn't about dismantling existing defenses, but about layering in new technologies and countermeasures.
Right, the idea being that a layered defense strategy is more resilient against emerging threats.
Exactly. And these developments force defense planners to juggle between offense and defense, innovation versus established systems. It's almost like a high stakes chess game where every move counts.
It really is. Speaking of chess, do you think this technological race could potentially destabilize strategic balances in sensitive regions like the Middle East?
That's the million-dollar question. With advanced missile capabilities in play, countries might feel compelled to either invest heavily in countermeasures or pivot to offensive strategies, which in turn could escalate tensions.
Yeah, exactly. And that would have broader implications for international security, right?
Right. When a defense system perceived as impregnable shows potential cracks, it doesn't just alter military tactics, it influences diplomatic relations, alliances, and even public perceptions about security.
Absolutely. It's fascinating how technical details about missile speeds and maneuverability can spiral into such wide reaching strategic debates.
It is. And one must appreciate the balance between technological innovation and strategic policy. On one hand, you have ultra fast, agile missiles. On the other, defensive systems that need, like, a complete reinvention to match up with these threats.
Right, spot on. I guess it underlines the importance of continuous assessment and reevaluation of our current defense strategies.
Absolutely. Keep in mind that Postol's study, while focused on Iran's developments, really exemplifies a broader trend. Every advancement in offensive missile technology compels us to innovate our interception techniques.
That's the reality. And with similar technologies being explored globally, it's not just a regional issue, it's a worldwide challenge.
Precisely. It's like technology never stands still. Think about how our everyday gadgets evolve. Defense systems should be just as nimble. There's always a need to upgrade and adapt.
Right? Exactly. Do you think the defense community might be slow to adapt, given the complexity of these new threats?
That's the criticism some have. There's an argument that by the time a new system is developed, adversaries might have already moved on to the next iteration of missile technology. It's a never ending race, a strategic arms race on a technological
You got that
playground.
right. And then there's the policy angle. Upgrading defense systems is like not just a matter of technology, it's also about political will and funding.
Exactly. Strategic decisions must account for both the technological feasibility and the economic and political realities. It's challenging because the window for effective countermeasures can be incredibly narrow.
Yep, very true. It's a complex mix of physics, policy, and human factors.
Right. And while Professor Postol's points stir up some debate, especially regarding how imminent the vulnerability is, they serve as an important wake up call. Defense infrastructures need constant evolution.
Absolutely. So, in a nutshell, while the Iron Dome has been a reliable shield against many threats, the emergence of hypersonic missiles forces us to acknowledge that no defense is foolproof.
Exactly. It's an evolving battlefield. The discussion challenges us to think about our current defense postures and push for innovative solutions. It's a reminder that in both technology and strategy, standing still can be
Right, indeed.
dangerous.
And this sort of dialogue, especially in a live format, really brings these complex topics to life, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. The live interaction, the audience questions, it's like a real time lab where ideas are tested and debated. It helps demystify these high level technical details for everyone tuning in.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that strikes me is the balance between acknowledging the vulnerability and not succumbing to full blown alarmism. How do we tread that line?
That's tricky. It's like you have to be realistic about the technical challenges without letting panic set in. Postol's approach is more analytical. He's signaling potential weaknesses to drive better innovation, not to claim that all is lost.
That's a good point. And that analytical stance is precisely what we need critical assessments that push the industry forward.
Absolutely. It nudges defense policymakers to re examine their strategies and invest in next gen solutions. It's a dynamic conversation that spans from technical specs to geopolitical implications.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking ahead, do you see this sparking a broader shift in how missile defense is approached worldwide?
I think so. The emergence of hypersonic missile technology isn't isolated to one region. As more nations explore these systems, the ongoing dialogue will undoubtedly encourage the development of, like, more adaptive and versatile defense architectures.
That would be the logical next step. It's almost like we're witnessing the beginning of a renaissance in defense technology, spurred by a combination of technical innovation and strategic necessity.
Exactly. And while it raises some serious challenges, it also offers opportunities for breakthroughs that could redefine how we think about security. It's a high stakes, high reward arena.
Right, it's both exciting and sobering. Well, this discussion has definitely illuminated many layers of the issue. It's a potent reminder that in defense tech, staying ahead requires relentless innovation.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, it's clear that while the Iron Dome has been a formidable defense, evolving threats like hypersonic missiles demand that we continually reassess and upgrade our defensive strategies.
Yep, totally agree. Thanks for unpacking these complexities. It's been a thorough and thought provoking exchange.
My pleasure. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon of technological and strategic evolution.